Oh, you did.
And I couldn't
I
find the
didn't
cup
know
even
you found.
close. No, I already
Um,
looked at it. Jesus Christ. I know when I lose.
oh my
What's the
God.
point?
Well, you know what? It's not
If you
necessarily.
wanted me to win, then you wouldn't have asked him for a picture. End of story. End of story. That's it. This is it. Nice to meet you, sir.
It's nice to meet you, sir.
Well, you know what? I have to say I'm very pleased about how the bearded mug challenge is going.
Yes.
Um,
It's,
the girls are liking it. You know, the
get a
girls have to
life. Get a
say,
life, ladies.
no, 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 no. This
What's
is
with the cup? Why a cup? I,
I
I
I
think
don't
it's
like
even
it.
know.
because it represents someone who's like a hardworking, like down to earth, go get that money for the family, keep that head and keep that roof above our heads,
That's right.
kind of a mentality. I think that's what it means to me. Because I only drink
No,
coffee at work.
that's right. And you don't drink alcohol out of a cup. A cup means coffee. That means you're up early. Makes
Right.
total sense.
It- I have drank bourbon out of that cup or out of that mug.
Listen, why did you give this away?
Well, it does
I'm,
say it does say
I'm
bourbon
drinking
on
coffee.
the
Yeah,
I'm
it
drinking
does say
coffee.
this is bourbon.
This is well. Listen, yeah, there is some whiskey, especially in America. I'm not from here, you can tell, but I'm
Yeah.
here because of it. You couldn't have it in a glass. It probably would burn through. You need like the sturdiness of a cup.
Right, right. Where are you from, Ing?
Germany,
Okay. It's a shame because I used to know German.
and you know what? It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
matter.
learned German years ago, and I can't
I
speak a lick of it anymore.
I learned English, so you don't have to, Steve.
Yeah, but it's a super bummer because I learned like three languages, like well, four technically, but I could never speak them very well. I could understand conversationally, but I could never really speak it. And as a result of very prolonged drug use, I had really bad teeth, and so I got dentures. And when I did that, I just could not.
You lost your accent.
Well, I lost it long before that, but it made it literally impossible after that.
No, but here's the thing. When I came the first time to Canada in '87, I I visited my father's twin sister who moved here in the '60s,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and she was talking German to me, but with this English accent, and then she was searching for words, and I said, "Bitch, you don't have to hang out that you live here. I lived here 4 or 5 years. I lost my German. Like when I called home, my mom said, "Are you drunk again?" I said, "No, I'm just looking for the words." If you don't use it regularly, it's gone. Even if it's your mother tongue. I dream in English. I
Oh, that's
don't
crazy.
sound. No, it is. That's how it is. We have to live with
Your
that.
friend is here, Ing. You guys have fun in the chat.
Coach Natisha is a very fine lady.
Yes, yes.
Not as fine as Coach Love.
Oh no, it's not a competition. You know what? She
I
is
would
a.
say different on her panel.
Oh, okay, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take it.
You have to adjust, Steve. We know that as men. It's
Hey,
not
I'm
a
married.
it's not a man world. But me too. 32 years. You know what?
Nice.
It's not a man's world. It's not.
Have you ever heard that song by James Brown?
Yeah,
He did an accompaniment with Luciano Pavarotti. It was called Man's World.
Yeah,
it's a man's
yes,
world.
it's a man's world.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
hearing those two together, Pavarotti and James Brown, was like, and having that orchestra behind him, it was just.
I'm gonna play that in the Discord tonight. I'm gonna play that in the Discord tonight.
sorry, I
Um.
can't read chat. Whoever just said hi, hi to you back.
Oh, here. Anthony, maybe.
Yes,
There you go.
good to see you, sir.
You know.
Yes, but you know what? Even Pavarotti and James Brown, you saw the women listening to that song and say, "Oh, it's great," but yeah, right.
Well,
At
the
the
whole
end of
song.
the day,
Yeah, but the whole premise of the song is that a man is nothing without his woman.
that's right.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
love that
and
part.
in today's day and age, I mean, you would have to kind of adjust the language a little bit. You know, today a person is not a person without their other person.
SJW, it's coming in.
But
You have
you
to
know,
be precise what you say.
well,
how you say it.
I like to give my LGBTQ folks some respect. They got a lot to go through.
How long are you married, if I may ask?
We just barely got married in August, but we've been together.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we've been together for this. We're in our 7th year of being together.
So why not before that?
Oh, because I was a horrible boyfriend. This is how hard it is to train me. It takes me 6 years.
Wait a minute. You said you were a horrible boyfriend. What?
But it worked. It did work.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Mr. Blue, Unpopular. Hello.
Hello, Popular.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. My guys.
Nice to meet you, sir. We spoke before in this, we typed in Discord, but we have not been on panel. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Yeah.
I just met Unpopular tonight. I just met him tonight.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, amazing.
Really? Why is he amazing?
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
You gotta listen to his
music. His music.
Yeah, listen to his bars, man. It's that's primo top shelf shit, man. Primo top shelf.
Wow.
I listen to his stuff all the time.
Hold on.
Hi, Mr. Unpopular. It's
Hey, what's going on? Is it ING? Ing? Ing is Ing?
Yeah, it's Ing.
What's up, Ing? Yes, sir.
Nice to meet Mr. Pelu. Have you been in other communities before? I saw this avatar before.
What's your other communities?
Yeah, he's been on a couple of
I mean, I'm all over the internet. I'm a podcaster.
He said they know me.
I probably owe you money.
Oh my gosh. Hey, hold on one second. Does anybody know Dev? How do we know Dev?
Yeah, Dev. Yeah. He with us.
Dev's a cool guy.
Yeah, he with us.
He's from the Caribbean.
I'm the one who brought him I gave him the link.
Okay, beautiful. Welcome, Dev. How you doing?
You're on mute, brother. Now you might not be ready to talk yet. Last time his daughter barged in and was talking to him, he was like, I'm busy.
Sorry about that.
Hi, Dev.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey, you doing good, Dev? How you doing?
Nice meeting you.
Where are you from, Dev? Where are you from?
I'm from the Caribbean.
Oh, I have Canada, the Caribbean, here.
You got a whole mix-up, girl.
What did you say?
I said you got a whole mix-up.
I do. I like it.
And I don't even have a Canadian citizenship. I live here for 20 years. I'm still German. When you lose 2 world wars, you can only have 1 citizenship. No, it's true. It's true. My kids were born to a German. In Canada, they have both. But because I was born my wife was born in Japan, in Tokyo.
Okay.
Again, they lost the World War II. That's why she can't have dual. But our kids, they can't. They're the only Canadians now. And they told me, Dad, if you don't smarten up, we're going to deport you. Real Canadians. They're real Canadians already, so I shut up.
Real Canadians already. Yeah. Wow. Wait a minute. Okay, you're looking over your shoulder. You're looking over your
shoulder. He's like, where's my wife at? Where's my wife at?
The wife is fine. The kids,
No.
I have a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old. However, the 15-year-old has 6 feet and 100 pounds on his 19-year-old brother, who is 5'9", goes a little bit more like on the Japanese side. So we call the big one now, he's the German in the house. So 15 years old. Go ahead.
How tall are you, Ing?
I'm 5'11".
Okay,
so
he's taller than you.
Yes.
Wow.
I'm not happy, but listen, don't want to complain. No, he's a good kid.
Hey, okay. Hey, like when we were on the Discord, Unpopular was going off, and I was telling Unpopular that his testimony will fit in exactly, will be a good follow up to what was going on. 'Cause I told her about the guest you had earlier, and he was basically a Christian giving his testimony through his trial and tribulation, and Unpopular was giving me his testimony. So I said, hey, Unpopular, hey, you might as well come on and give everybody your testimony. That's why I asked
Okay, let's
Unpopular to
hear it.
come through.
Yeah, let's hear it,
Okay,
Unpopular.
Yeah,
all right.
matter of fact, like I was just loving the energy that was just going on. It was real light and fluffy, you know what I'm saying? I like light and fluffy. So um the
Are you
conversation
making a
that
fat joke about me? No, I'm kidding.
no, 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 man, no. Uh but
Light
yeah,
and
man,
fluffy.
the conversation that I was just having on the Discord, I guess it was just saying, you know, I believe in like the righteousness and the good hearted and like the kindness of people, you know. And I just feel like, that's something we need to be more focused on that. And I feel like people, I don't know, they get dismayed and they end up running here and there when it comes to everything that's going on, but for the most part, like where people are at home, where the heart is at home, people really they really have this sense of, what really matters to them is that goodness, is that righteousness. And I feel like the way that we are starting to express ourselves nowadays is just like, people are just so much into being free and just, not giving a fuck, but with a good sense of how they're, directing that emotion. And it's just like, we have these conversations about this and about that, and I feel like we get confused when we see somebody, speaking out, strongly. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Okay.
it's one of those things where you know, okay, I'm not saying that there's not no bad news out there and there's not any bad people. But
There
when I'm
is a lot
there,
bad
there
news,
is there's a lot of bad news, a lot of bad people.
but there's more
But
good people than bad. But
right,
the
and
good
I
ones
feel
don't
like
speak up. Don't speak up.
right, that's where I was, and I'm glad you said that because I was speaking towards like the righteous soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Like God's angels, so to say. You know what I'm saying? And how conflicted they are in this world, and I, I feel like it's a spiritual thing because people that lose themselves in the world, they end up gaining this certain type of like persona where it's just like, well, fuck it, it's me against the world. And they fight back and they're taking every good aspect of them. And what they're doing with that is saying, you know what, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna be a badass, but in the best way possible, and nobody's gonna stand in my way and nobody's gonna fucking stop me. And those are the people that I look up to the most because these are the people that get shit done, but they don't have not a piece of malice in them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like if we had more of that in the world, because when you look at the battle, I'm not gonna lie, there are way more assholes that are gonna blow your head off. Like
No, but
there's
they're the
not enough.
ones. But they're the ones who always have to be in the front. That's why when you watch the news, it looks really bad. But
Right.
then I have my kids. I own computer servers in Russia, so my kids can hook up with their friends in India playing Fortnite. They do that for about 3 years now. They have competitions and shit, and sometimes money comes, and sometimes they lose. It's, like when I look at our children, then I have hope. When I look at people like myself, say, oh shit, what have we done? what, what has this become?
I don't know
Right.
what generation everybody's in, but like what I noticed about Generation Z, they really, really think that boomers are crazy and Generation X has lost it. They think they're like, oh my God. And someone said, oh yeah, that's old people problems. I was talking to somebody told me that.
I don't know,
Wow.
but I know you don't mess around with Gen X. We don't give a shit. We really
Okay,
don't. We don't
unpack
give a
that
shit.
for me. Unpack
My
that for you.
my kids told me I'm Gen X, but I definitely pretend to be a boomer. They said, Dad, you have to smarten up. You know, when I told them, I said, listen, I gonna start up this Discord on YouTube. I said, you on YouTube? They're on Twitch, and Snapchat. What's the other thing called? They're not even on YouTube anymore. The kids, the younger
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, they're on Twitch for
Twitch
sure.
and yeah.
I don't even know what
I'm
Twitch
just
is.
I'm just a
It's like
landed immigrant.
it's like streaming for gaming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
But you
so
don't mess
was
with Gen X though, because we've gone through all of it. We survived the boomers. We survived the '80s. We
you have
survived.
weapons,
We still had
weapons
nuclear
license.
threats.
You have a
Like, yeah,
weapons license.
I do actually. It's right there.
Yeah. You,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh wow. Let's act.
What is
But
that? Was that your gun?
Coach Love.
yeah,
Coach Love. Sorry, I asked. Sorry.
Wait,
No, it's a nice one. It's
I have a couple of them stashed throughout my house.
now I go hunting because I think
I have my concealed carry permit.
got
So
it. Okay.
yeah.
Well, at
I'm
first
in
Yeah, I got one in
I
Utah, and I've never been to Utah. I got a Utah one. I never been to Utah, and I still got a Utah one.
Yeah, I've got at least 4 guns, actually 3 guns within arm's distance right now. So
have you ever shot a guy? Oh Jesus! Oh my God! I should.
Yeah, yeah. That's trying to criminate them on TV.
Next,
You know,
next question.
Oh,
Next
it just,
question.
it just got dark.
as I was
That's
saying,
trying to criminate.
Hey,
you don't
listen.
mess with Gen Xers because we went through the '80s. I mean, we had to. I mean, if you think about it, half of, or at least a quarter of my life was spent while the USSR was still a country.
I
Right?
lived there.
yeah.
I
The nuclear
lived there.
threat. Yeah. And so you would appreciate half of my books because half of my books are like Russian literature. But
But here's the point. I grew up in an area. I had 2 hours to a self-shooting fence to the USSR because it was the Czech Republic.
oh wow,
Today, it's the Czech Republic. And you know what I never realized is when in 1990 Germany got the sovereignty back, I didn't know we didn't have sovereignty. Because I was in Bavaria, which was the American zone. We had American military go through our city, 15,000 people every day. But they were liberators. You know,
Wow.
like they would let us ride with them in their, the first American chewing gum I ever got was from a soldier. Like in Germany, it was never felt like it's an occupation or we don't have sovereignty. It was liberators and keep us safe from an Iron Curtain. So when the
What is
wall
that?
came down, I was
Is that
still
your
in
gun?
Germany when the wall came down. It
Is that
was
your gun?
something.
I got to pull out my guns too. I got to pull out the guns too. Everybody got guns. I got to pull out the guns.
But listen, you're African American, so that's got to be illegal.
Oh,
How do I be legal in African American? What kind of laws? What kind of craziness is that?
Oh my God.
I'm a,
no.
land, I'm a
Hell.
landed immigrant to Canada. What the fuck do I know, Pilo?
Oh my.
Oh,
Ing is a secret American. Ing is a secret American. He really is.
Oh, I love that.
Hey, I gotta be strapped too. And can't nobody come in my house either.
The world would look different without the United States. I know
Oh,
that for
yeah.
a fact.
But anyways, so we went through Soviet Russia. We went through the birth of the internet. We went through 9/11. We've gone through multiple recessions, multiple, stuff like that. And then we've come to the very social online media presence. And at this point, most of us are in our 40s, and we just do not give a shit about you or anybody else. Like, we've already lived, our patience has been expired for at least a decade to 2 decades.
Amen.
So, like, half the
I'm
time,
54, by the way.
I have to work at being nice. Like, this is not my natural state.
I don't believe you 1 second.
Oh, no, man. I'm an asshole. Don't let me fool you.
Well, I won't argue that because same here.
You know, I've been in some banging bar fights, but sometimes we just go out and beat the shit out of people for fun.
Steve,
Yeah.
how many books did you have to read before you became nice?
I'm still not nice.
How many Russian books? How many Russian books did you have?
Hold on.
Fitness
One,
Frank, good to see you.
2,
Yeah, man.
3, 4. Hold on, there's more.
At least Steve backs his shit up. If anyone would ask me, are you sure? I would say, okay, maybe not.
Oh my
at
God,
him.
he's
Look
actually
at him.
counting the books he had to read before he even became presentable.
Yeah.
If he
Who's
has
that,
a
man?
Russian Bible, I gonna punch out.
This Bible is actually cool because it's funny because I'm an atheist, right?
Wow,
The
listen.
the Holy Quran, the Holy Quran.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's got the original.
Yeah.
I actually bought a copy of the Gutenberg Bible for my daughter. But yeah. Oh! I almost forgot one more. There we go.
Nice.
So I got Dostoevsky, Leo Tolstoy. I got Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Ramsdell, Hannah Arendt, Anne Applebaum. So yeah, I got a couple.
He has the Quran. That's the Quran.
Hey,
yeah, Mr. Pelu's Muslim.
Can anybody tell me the major
Salam alaikum, Pelu.
what's like a major difference between the Quran and the Bible?
What is it?
Can I answer?
The major difference is the Bible, the Quran is like the Quran is all in poetry, so it's like having the whole Bible but nothing but songs.
That's right.
Wait, to say it again.
It's like that. The whole Quran is in poetry. The whole Quran is poetry.
Oh, okay.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
The Bible was written by over 40 people, 66 books.
Yeah.
Everything in the Quran you can find in the Bible, but you couldn't find everything in the Quran that's in the Bible. So, as he says, it's a poetry on the Word of God. Or the only God, no Trinitarian God, right, Pilu? There's only one God?
No, okay. If you want, because you talking about just the book, the Bible and the Quran. I mean, the Bible and the Quran. But then, if you want to talk about that's a whole different discussion. That's a discussion about theology. That's a whole different discussion. You want to? I mean, yeah.
The Bible is a library of books.
Yeah, it is. You would say it's a library of books. Yeah, you would say so. And it all depends because different people have different views of the Bible because the Jews look at things different than the way the Christians do. That's one thing I've learned. A lot of Christians. Oh, wait, hold on. I want to finish my thought. I noticed that a lot of Christians think they know the Jewish part because no wait. I want to bring out a quick idea. I've noticed that because the Christian Bible has the Old Testament, a lot of Christians think they understand Judaism to a certain degree. But now, when I got older, I actually studied Judaism from Jewish people. I realized that Jews have a totally different view of almost everything that the Old Testament says than how Christians say it. There's something I've noticed, and I'm not saying I know it's natural because it's part of it. You know what I'm saying? They put the Old Testament, which is based on the Jewish Bible, in the Christian Bible. But the way Jews look at it is totally different than the way. Even the ordering is different. Even the way the books are ordered is different. Like I'm gonna give one concrete example.
Yes.
The Jews, they call the Jewish Bible they call it Tanakh, right? Tanakh means Torah, Nevi'im, and then the writings, the Kitabim. I don't know how to say it in Hebrew, but I know how to say it in Arabic more. Right. But it's a different order because it matters when the Christians have their Bible. Actually, they put the prophets after they put the writings. You know, the writings supposed to be the prophets. Like for example, Malachi not supposed to be the last book in the Old Testament according to Jews. That's not the last book in the Torah. Torah. That's not the last book in the Tanakh. But it's the last book in the Christian Old Testament because they switched the order around. And I don't know they switched the order. The Christian Bible switches the order. It's not the same order as the Jewish Bible is in. It's a lot of differences. A lot of other things change. But the only reason I started learning that because I started actually um 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 uh looking at Jewish scholarship from Jewish sources, especially my good friend Rabbi Tobias Singer on YouTube. I became a Rabbi Tobias Singer fanatic, and then I started learning about the Jewish, how
Okay,
Jewish interpret
before
it,
we
and I
go
realized
into
that
YouTube,
Jewish is just
let's talk about what you said first. The Talmud and the Catechism are the written word of what Jews and Christians are basing their beliefs on, and neither have to do with the Bible. The differences between the Jews and the Christians is that they left what the Bible is teaching. Because it doesn't matter what the first book and the last book should be, you can mix them all up, same message.
no.
Neither,
Hey, but there's a
neither the
reason why.
Catholic Church or the Jews believe in what the Old Testament, the Hebrew scriptures for the Jews, and the New Testament, the Greek scriptures. They don't even live their lives according to it. That's the difference. The only difference they have is because they both left what they were basing the whole religion on.
Well, the other problem is you have a Bible that's been edited so many times, and we're not even aware of what was left out. That's another problem that I've always
Well,
had
you're
with
an
it.
atheist. That's different.
But well, I'm an atheist, but I don't deny other people's faith.
Wait, I have
So
a question. How did you define atheism the other day? How did you define that?
um, basically, it's not that I don't believe in a God. It's just that I don't believe that there's enough evidence to provide existence of God.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
it's
that
not that I don't think that he couldn't be out there. Sure, he could be, but I don't have any evidence of that. So as I said in Born Rich's podcast, I refuse to live my life by a lie.
but
And
just
if I try to find evidence and make it fit me and my belief, my own kind of, if I try to shape it into my own box, then it becomes a lie because it's no longer truthful to what it should be. Does that make sense? I'm being very vague here.
no, let me just ask one thing. When you said it's not that you don't believe there is a God, there's just no evidence.
Hmm.
Just the thought of thinking there could be one, isn't that the first step of an evidence? Not complete, but
Well, no, I mean it's kind of like let's take this for example. I think it was Carl Sagan, but it was imagine for a second that there's a teapot in orbit around Jupiter, right? Is it possible? Yeah, sure, but we have no way of proving it right now.
Fitness Frank thinks you're an agnostic. He doesn't think you're an atheist.
No, I am
And
most
maybe.
definitely an
He said
atheist.
maybe. He said maybe.
Yeah,
well,
no, I am.
agnostic and
I'm
atheist is a difference. There's a
right.
difference
Yeah,
between.
so
What?
I'm definitely an atheist because the problem is in the word. The word atheist is already confusing, right? Because it has theist in it. So you have
Theist,
to really kind
God.
of clarify. And the reason why I say it's not that I don't believe in God, I just don't have the evidence to prove that He does exist. There's a very specific differentiation between those two things. And one is I'm a believer in science, so I don't want to close myself off to evidence that could provide proof of God's existence. So it's kind of like scientists are never 100% sure of anything. They'll always say 99.9%, right? It means
Mhm.
they're incredibly confident that this thing is true, but they will never close their minds off to even the remotest possibility that something else could be different. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's the same way for me. Is like I'm going to behave. This is kind of why Pascal's wager falls apart. So I'm not going to behave as if a God exists in case he does. I'm going to behave as if he doesn't because it's the truer life for me. But I'm not a militant atheist. I'm not going to try and go out there and prove everybody. I'm not going to try and convert people from Christianity or religiosity, I should say, and try and say you should come over to the dark side with me. We have popsicles and ice cream. I mean, I find that
Goes right to my hips. Goes right to my
yeah,
hips.
yeah, I find it a reprehensible behavior, and there are people out there that are like that. But the bottom line is that according to my beliefs, every human being has the right to believe and live however they choose, so long as they don't violate the rights of anybody else. I really do not give a shit what you do. So,
So I have a
yeah,
question for you.
yeah.
Well, actually, I have a couple. What is
Hmm.
the difference for you in your mind between being an atheist and an agnostic? And then, have you ever read like the writings of like C.S. Lewis and Hugh Ross? And the reason why I bring up those two guys is because Hugh Ross comes at it from a scientific perspective. He used
Hmm.
to be an atheist, and now he's like, no, there is a God. And he's actually autistic, right? He is a slightly autistic scientist, and so he just was baffled by the whole idea of there being a God. And then after studying science over and over and over again, he came to the opinion that there must be a God.
Hmm.
Um, so your reader, that's the only reason I'm going to bring those. Hugh Ross, and then C.S. Lewis, he was a um, atheist, and I forgot how he proved it to himself. But those are just right. Do you read those kinds of writings from
I've read
atheist
C.S. Lewis a little bit.
switch?
Yeah, yeah. I've read C.S. Lewis a little bit, but a brilliant man, brilliant writer, brilliant intellect. But I have not read extensively on C.S. Lewis. And the other guy, what was his name?
Hugh Ross. Hugh
That's
Ross
what I thought.
is, yeah, he's a scientist.
Yeah.
He's a present day scientist,
Hmm.
even though he's gotten up in age now. But he has books upon books upon books, and he tells his story how he just thought it was absolute nonsense. And being that he's a little autistic, sometimes they can just be really direct.
Hey, C.S. Lewis is autistic. C.S. Lewis.
No, no, not
No, no,
C.S.
no.
Lewis.
Hugh
Oh my
Ross.
God, Hugh Ross. He's autistic, and he just thought it was just baloney, basically. And then it was through science that he was only able to believe that there was a God. So he unwillingly came to believe.
Yeah. There's a lot of arguments out there. There's Pascal's wager. There's the Kalam cosmological argument. There's a few arguments out there, but they fall short under some scrutiny. Okay, so let's go back to your first question. Agnostic and atheist. So agnostics believe that there is a higher something. They just have no idea what it is. They may
Okay.
have felt that thing's presence, but they don't know what to call it.
Okay.
Um, Christianity's God doesn't fit. Islam's God doesn't fit. A lot of them don't fit. It just doesn't make sense to them because, quite frankly, if you were to actually look at religions in a constructive scientific way, they make no damn sense. They really, really do not make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why religion appeals to people is because it connects in here, right? But for people like me, I'm in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I spend most of my time in there. Um, and so that's why I don't criticize people who want to have faith. Now, I will criticize the shit out of them if they have bad ideas, right?
Okay.
But I will attack the idea. I won't attack the person, and I won't attack the faith.
Now,
Um,
you know what? I want to share with the audience that you actually came from a background where
mhm.
you went, you grew up in church, right?
Yeah, so I grew up Mormon, or what they call
What?
Latter Day Saint. Yeah,
Shut up.
yeah. I was
He's from
actually sealed to
Utah.
my
He's from
parents.
Utah.
Yeah, I was sealed
Where's
to
your
my parents in the temple.
where's your black? No, where's your white shirt? And why do you have so much hair in your face?
Because I'm
It's
not
not a
Mormon.
church. They have a temple. Just saying.
Well, no, we do have churches, we have temples, and we have stake centers. Stake
See,
centers and churches are the same thing, basically. One's just a little bit bigger
they
than the other
hit
one.
they hit all the points just to say. Oh,
Yeah,
go ahead.
but
No, I know,
morally,
but
the LDS Church is has got some really good ideas as far as like what they call the word of wisdom, which is like don't drink caffeine, don't drink alcohol, Don't overindulge in bad food, food that's bad for you. Always be honest and sincere, never lie, remain chaste until marriage, stuff like that. They're really good ideas
And
for
how many
them,
women are
not
you
for me.
allowed to marry?
Just one. Just one.
Well, you know what? I get that.
And that's the weird thing is like I don't give a shit. I really don't. If you have the intestinal fortitude and quite frankly the cojones to be with 6 women, you're a better man than me. Because I couldn't do it. I couldn't
something
do it.
is wrong with that guy. Jesus Christ, I can't handle
my wife
one.
could barely stand me, so it's okay.
I don't know.
Can you imagine 6 women not being able to stand me?
Look, they had it on TV. They had a show about it. They're all gone now. Like it never lasts.
No, there is a man and he's still on TV, and I think he just added another wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, probably paid by CBS.
I think it was Sister Wives, isn't it? It's like called Sister Wives or something like that, or it used to be. Yeah.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
The problem with that is it's a very restrictive lifestyle for the women. There's a lot of problems in that community. Even the Mormons here look down on them. They're like, these guys are freaking nuts, right? We just put away Warren Jeffs for life for just selling off 12-year-old, 14-year-old girls to like 50-year-old men. It's just like some detestable bullshit that these guys are doing, and this is like it's really hard for me to pull myself back from going on like a serious like anger-filled rant and directing that directly at a church or religiosity in general, because it's just bad. Like there's been some bad things that have done in the name of whatever God you want to choose, and but you don't see that criticism continuing on in the church where it's like, okay, we did this, we need to be mindful forever that we did this and never let it happen again. Like the Mormon Massacre just kind of swept under the rug. We're like, oh, we're gonna forget about that, and we never did that. See ya. That's just bullshit.
Hold on.
So
just pause 1 second. I want to hear about the Mormon massacre, but I want to say this. Men think that having multiple wives is going to go like this. I want them tonight. No, I want them tonight. They think we're going to fight, but really it's going to go like this. No, you take them. No, I had them last night. No, you.
Probably.
That's how it's going to go. It's like, no, that's why I got into the share program, because I don't want to be bothered all the time. He has gas, you take him tonight.
No, my wife, she loves me and she stands by me all the time. She's really great. She's actually on the other side of the computer, probably scowling at me right now. Are you scowling at me? Yeah, she's scowling at me.
She's gonna clip it and she's gonna play it.
No, we share a similar sense of humor, so we just like make jokes all the time and hang out.
Has she been a Mormon too, if I may ask?
But no. She was actually raised Lutheran. Yeah. So the Mormon Massacre was. I don't remember all of it, but if I remember correctly, as the Mormons were headed west, there was a group of people behind them, and for some reason they just absolutely slaughtered the shit out of all of them. I don't remember enough of the story. Wow. Honestly, it's been 20, 30 years since I learned it, so it's like it's not in there. And I don't care. I mean, it was what I remember from it was messed up, and it was I don't know. I've just seen so many problems happen.
It was also planned. It was planned ahead of time.
Because, right.
The early settlers in America were all Christians, and to them, Mormons was a cult.
Yeah. Well, in some ways it kind of is, because there's so little that people know about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that it's scary. But when you find out, when you really get into the weird things that they do, and the weird things that they believe,
not a reason to kill people. Let me throw this in.
Right. It's just a really kind of a fanatical belief system that even members of the church don't even know.
So
So
you trying to tell me we have more to worry about than their underwear?
no, they're very, they're for the most part they're very nonviolent. They just want to be left alone and practice their religion and their faith in peace. However, the problem comes when there's still practices continuing to this day that are what I would consider detestable and wrong.
Okay.
Um,
Like what?
such
Like
as
what?
well, when you I think it's like when you hit 12, and you start going to interviews with the bishops, which are kind of like the main priest for your ward, because there's usually several wards that attend the same church and they rotate
Okay.
times.
Okay.
Um, for a long time, they were asking very inappropriate questions from children, basically, like, "Do you masturbate?" Stuff like that, because they wanted to see if they're pure. Make sure that they're staying on the straight and narrow. And it wasn't until recently that I think that the church stopped doing that, because there was such an outcry of like, this is not okay for a 30, 40, 50-year-old man to be asking my kid this shit. Like, I'm not having any of it. And so
Wow.
they, like, a lot of ex-Mormons really started to push the church and be like, hey, this is why we left. You need to fix this or you're going to lose more. And
Wow.
so it was just super critical. And then, it's just there's a lot of pressure to be righteous, you know what I mean? And like, go on a mission. And if you don't go on your mission, you're looked down at. And it's a lot of peer pressure. Um, it's just, I think for some people it's a good thing, and for people like me, it was restrictive. It was difficult. It didn't make sense. I was bullied by a lot of other kids, and the adults that I watched weren't living up to what they were telling me to do. And so it was like, why would I belong to a church where half the members that I see aren't even following the shit that you're supposed to? And
Uh-huh.
the argument is, well, like, follow the church, not the members. Nah, no, I don't agree with that. Because
Wow.
if the church is so, if the ideology of the church itself is so piss poor that half of its members don't do what they're supposed to be doing, why the hell should I do it? Why should I be there? Right. And plus the fact that I never felt the presence of God in any church. Right. I would say the closest I've ever felt to feeling a spiritual connection with God is when I've been out in the wilderness and I've been camping and sitting around a campfire, or, you know, stuff like that. I've been more spiritual in places where I've been in connection with nature than I ever have anywhere else. So if God's anywhere, he's probably in nature, and that's where he hangs out. And that's probably why I like being there as much as I do.
Oh,
Makes sense.
so wow. So I want to switch subject matters. I want to talk about tonight's show.
Oh,
Um,
you know what?
what?
We didn't let Unpopular finish.
Unpopular?
Yeah,
Unpopular, you better finish.
yeah, damn, what was I talking about?
See, I thought you
Just
finished.
no, start
No,
at the beginning, please.
I'm so sorry. I took that from you, Unpopular. I'm sorry, dude.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
but
he's going to give his testimony because his testimony. Oh, let me reintroduce him because I introduced him in the beginning. It started off why I brought him over here because he was giving before we came on here, he was giving me his own testimony. I'm like, hey, guess what? Coach Love, her show that she had with this guy, he was basically a testimony. You might as well come and give your spiritual testimony. To come about it because he was talking about a lot of things. Because he started with Adam and Eve. Like you can even start with Adam and Eve. You started me. How you start off unpopular? You told me Adam did what and then what? Break it down for the audience, so we gonna get your wisdom today. Rap to him. It's just your day.
Go ahead,
And I
give us.
promise I won't say anything else.
oh no, Pelu, that was locker room talk. You tripping? That
Oh, okay. Hey, skip the locker
You
room
know
part. Skip
what,
the locker room part.
Unpopular? I want you to know this is the after show. It is the after show. It will not continue to be available after we say what we say. It is going to. The link is going to go away.
No, no, I want this clipped. Go ahead, Unpopular.
but yeah, more towards the point of what Steve was just saying, saying like he finds God in nature, that was the closest spiritual connection that he had with God, being in nature. I feel like for a lot of people out there, well, specifically for me, God is like this grandiose idea of what, what we believe in, far as like, reality and whatnot. And I feel like a lot of people, they tend to lean more towards reality, which is the more rational thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, protect yourself, be prepared in any situation. But you have a lot of people that grow up in the world and they don't really know how to actually just grow up in that sense of protection. I see a lot of it going on in the female community. Like, even the men are trying to raise the women to be more protective over themselves, and women are starting. I don't know how long it's been since women started carrying and getting doing the gun thing and trying to protect themselves. And more and more people just trying to be more realistic in what's going on in the world.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I say, with Steve saying he's atheist, I feel like that just comes from, I'm pretty sure, I'm not going to speak for him, but I'm saying the way that I see it and understand it, it's more of like a reality situation. Like, you have to look at reality. You know what I'm saying? And reality is more God than what God is sometimes. And for
Hmm.
me, for
Yeah,
me,
let me tell you this. I just want to add one thing as you're going. And in some cultures, in some religions, in some faiths, God and reality are synonymous. Like in Islam, it's synonymous. Matter of fact, that's one of our names is Al-Haq. One of the names we call God is Al-Haq. And even my particular sect, we even call ourselves we even call ourselves Allah wa istiqamah. And Haq means reality. So some people that is their God. Some people worship reality as if it's God. And, they worship not as if it's
Amen.
God. They worship reality. They call God. They call the reality their God. So I just want to say, yeah, I understand what you're saying because a lot of
Amen. Amen to that. Amen.
because what else would you worship except reality? You know what I'm saying? Why would you worship a falsehood? So if you're gonna worship something, at least worship the reality that you have to deal with every day of your life.
right. And it's just like one of those things where, man, like, if people really just started like expressing themselves with every negative situation that just came their way, I mean, there would be a lot of people getting slapped and punched. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like,
Wait
it's
a
a
minute, there's
lot.
a lot of people getting slapped and punched right now. People came out the pandemic fighting and fucking.
And a lot more
Some
need to
people
get
ask
slapped
for
and
it
punched.
though. Some people ask for it.
Like, because it's just like on a daily basis, it's just so much bullshit that's going to fly your way. Like, really, like, it's just unbearable sometimes. It's just like a lot of people have to stay inside of their shell. They end up housing a lot of things that they really don't like dealing with. I feel like this is where depression comes from, anxiety, just everyday, living life. And I feel like that's why people try to latch on towards or latch on to a religious background or whatever they tend to subscribe to, because it's just like, a lot of people, like, I've noticed a lot of people just, they're comfortable. Like, I remember Pelu said this one time. He said a lot of people are just comfortable with the bullshit, and they don't let it get to them. And sometimes I be trying to understand, like for because like for a guy like me, like, I stay in my shut a lot of the times, and I deal with a lot of crow that gets thrown my way, and I'm just like, man, I really wish I could cuss this motherfucker out, but this motherfucker might shoot me or some shit. Like, this motherfucker might. I really wish I could just, but I gotta stay. You gotta stay quiet. You gotta stay suppressed, and it's one of those things where, that's what makes me connect to God. Just saying, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and shut the fuck up, because if I don't, what I'm saying, I might lose my life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Right.
like, damn. Like, because honestly, nobody is here to deal with nobody else's bullshit. Like, I don't care if you're a goddamn cat or a dog. I don't have to deal with your bullshit. Like, if you're a lion, motherfucker, bring it on. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to deal with your shit. Like, and it's just like, I feel like as human beings, like, we get looked at as like these feeble, defenseless creatures, when honestly we are the bulk of this bitch. You know what I'm saying? We would make this bitch spin.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we are the shit. So it's just like, if people could, take that, and just run with that, like, we're humans, like this show doesn't go on without us.
So
So
I
it's
just
just
want to
like,
say if when you come up to a mountain lion, you could be like,
oh nah, hell nah.
Can I ask a
Nah.
question to unpopular?
But
You say
shit.
you're from the Caribbean?
Nah, I'm
No, that
from
was
the
Dev.
South. South America. I'm from
Oh,
the South of America, yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you from South America or the South in America?
yeah, the
You
South
from the
in
south?
America. Southern,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
so
honey.
you're a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Yes, but
Wait a
from the
minute. He
hand.
was like painting to say that.
Well, you know why? You know why? Because especially down there, and I don't mean that demeaning in any way, but a lot of what people brought over as heritage
Religion.
in
Yeah.
religion and in beliefs, it's not always just Christian. Would you
Well, it
say
ain't called
there?
the Bible Belt for nothing.
Well, not down there. The Bible Belt, it's very white.
Well, you want
White
to know
trailer
something?
trash inbreeds. Just kidding.
What do you think
No,
about everybody now starting to worship their ancestors? Have you
Who's
noticed
doing
that?
that though? Like, is that like a new thing? I mean, okay, like I've always
no.
known there's been like neo pagan and stuff like that. There's always been like neo pagan movements. Even in the black community, you always have like you always have those Yoruba or Orisha stuff, or you either have the
Have you
Santeria, or you like
experienced
Afro
that,
Latino.
Pilu?
Listen, I
Have you
had never heard of that
experienced that?
foolishness in my life
No,
until
no, I'm saying it's some people nowadays got alternative religions instead of the mainstream Abrahamic ones. They got like they will have like they have like some like African gods and stuff. They worship some like some deities or they have like
and,
Santeria or something like that.
and
They'll have
and I
like
don't mean to disrespect it by calling it foolishness, but I literally had never heard that. Period. In a way that I was supposed to accept it. So it was just shocking to me. And I don't think it's just in the African American community because I
No,
have
no.
a white friend and she says this to me all the time.
no,
And
no,
it's like,
no. They do too. They're Wicca. They got Wicca and heathenism and stuff like that. They got the Norse
yeah, the
gods like
witch
Thor.
stuff.
They'll have Thor and they'll
Don't
have fire circles and dance around the fire naked. You know what I'm saying? They have that stuff and stuff.
Wait,
don't
Ing was
don't
Thor this week. He was, he was
listen.
in the
I will be
Discord.
better next week. Jesus Christ.
He was
If
Thor
Right?
this week.
no, but don't you think there is a reason why every day in the English vocabulary is based on a Germanic pagan god?
Say that again.
Nah, but if you look at it though, also even in French is the same thing. Even in Spanish is the same thing, but it's just the Roman gods instead. They use the because look, I think the name
No,
after the Roman god,
you're
and then it
absolutely
switches to
right.
the yeah.
There is no difference between Jupiter, the highest god of the Romans, and Odin, the highest god of the Vikings, or Wotan, or Woden. That's why Wednesday is the highest day in the Germanic pagan week.
You know what?
To this day. To
Annan was
this day.
saying earlier this week when we were doing the thing about the days of the week, he was talking about globalization and regarding the days of the week. I'm like, you guys are you're so smart. I'm like,
Okay.
what in the world? And
I'm just saying,
what Ing is
even
saying
if you're
reminds me of
Christian,
that.
Jewish, or Muslim, there is something that's so rural and comes from the beginnings that we still have to this day.
No,
Paganism.
yeah, but that's like in every because look, even if you look at like um um even if you look at Saturday, even if you look at Sabbath, like I'm gonna give you an example. Like they call Saturday the Sabbath, right? Even the Arabic is called Yom Sabbath. I mean the Sabbath day, and I know it's same similar because Hebrew is very similar to Arabic in the Semitic roots and everything like that, right? But even Saturday, even I've done some research that there's actually a Canaanite god called Sabbath too, and so it's almost like it's like there was a lot of like even with Judaism and the monotheistic Abrahamic religion, it came in a world where they were surrounded by other cultures too, and you could see some of the influences in the languages in the other cultures and things like that. They
Absolutely.
came through. They came through it.
But Pilo,
Hmm?
that's not the
Because
point. The point
okay,
is, even if the Saturday derives from something else Germanic, that we still, our roots go so far back. It goes further than anything in the Bible, Quran, Talmud, whatever.
I'm gonna say it
Like
comes from astrology more than anything. I think the days of the week come from more astrology than anything. And I think some of the months originally, I think all the stuff originally was originally like, okay, it's like this is okay.
no,
If you
that was
understand,
just
a
an
day itself is
example.
nature.
It was just an example. Well, I'm just saying that's one example. I'm just saying
No,
that
no, I'm not
even if
arguing.
you're
I'm just trying to
Christian,
add more information.
no, I'm just saying that the background and heritage of someone coming from a certain area will always, there is still something there to this day.
We're hopscotching away from unpopular again.
What do you mean?
I
Oh,
said we're hopscotching away from unpopular again.
I know, but,
my
we can
bad.
take tangents because I'm probably gonna be here all
Hey,
night.
you're not helping because
Unpopular. Can you
He's
please
gonna
be
give us his concept.
unpopular?
Palo and I are the same person. Just
Oh
let's
man,
unpopular
shit.
talk. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, don't keep putting me on the spot, man. I'm here for the panel, man. So yeah, let's discuss.
That's why I put you on the spot. You're here for the panel. No, I run out of arguments. Unpopular, help me out here. Say
No,
something.
okay, but I was saying though, but I was trying to say that everything is nature though. If you think about it, people observe nature to find out what a day was. Okay, why do we even have something called a day? The only reason we have something a day because people observe nature that the sun came up and it came down, then the next day it came up and came down again. So they're like, okay, that must be a day. So everything is in nature. Even a month. Like I know in our calendar we use the January, February, March calendar. It doesn't really track moons the same way, but it still is approximately a time of a moon. You know what I'm saying? Like I know the Islamic calendar they really track your moon. Like for example, a new month
Pilo,
doesn't start until they actually have to see the moon, right?
Pilo, Pilo.
But what?
Thank
Yeah.
you. You just proved I'm an idiot. Unpopular. You're next.
Unpopular, like you are like it tonight.
Yeah, because we cut
Man,
him off earlier. Yet so much more. And you know we shouldn't cut him off when he's in the start in the beginning. Come on. Go ahead.
Unpopular, please become popular.
Yes.
oh man, well, I guess
And Pilo, I like him so long.
oh
I love
man.
you.
Yeah, man. I'm loving the energy, man. It's good energy right now, but shit. Damn, what's the topic, man? I don't
It's
know.
called coach.
Now we're talking
It's
about your
coach love.
testimony. You was giving us
It's
your
coach love.
testimony.
Really quick, I
It's
just
the
wanted to say
testimony of
something.
unpopular.
Really quick, I just wanted to say something. I think this begs. I think this begs to be asked. I find it interesting that from time immemorial, and we have evidence of this going back to the earliest man. But it seems very interesting that man has always made a god for himself.
Mm.
There's always been some kind of faith, some kind of god or gods, some kind of religious understanding, religious beliefs. I happen to be with Jordan Peterson on this, where we tried to understand the world and try to understand the gravity and the power of being, and so we had to find ways to express that, and even more so we had to find ways to express that and pass that knowledge on to the other generations. And religion is really good for that, because even if it changes, right, even if it's like the telephone game, right, it might change, but no matter how far it changes, you're still going to be learning something from that narrative. So it's a really interesting concept to think about, how where did religions come from in the first place? It was some guy who was like, oh, there must be some invisible hand that I can't see controlling this flower's ability to blossom when I wasn't looking, right? It was human beings conceptually trying to understand a world that they had no fucking clue about what was going on.
Just don't undermine your atheism because, you know, animals don't search for a God.
Mhm.
It was when they said, let us make people in our image. That's human beings.
Yeah.
You don't
I just
search for
want
a
to
God when
know.
you're an animal.
I want to know how come Unpopular is not talking. What happened?
Okay.
He
How did
doesn't
it
like being
happen
on the
again?
spotlight. From what I
How
can tell, he doesn't like being on the spotlight.
did it happen again?
Don't get
You
me
know what I
wrong,
want to know?
Steve.
Unpopular. I'm
No,
going to ask
no,
you this
no.
real
He's not.
quick.
He's just letting everybody else talk.
No, I want to know this. Unpopular. How many wives can a man handle? That's what I want to know. How many
Ooh,
Not one.
how many wives should a man have?
man. Shit.
Yeah. All your girlfriends.
Sure.
Not good. It's not good. Unpopular. All 56 girlfriends you had in the last 6 months. It's not good.
What do you say? Popular? How many wives should a man have?
Come on.
Man,
Well,
how
you
many
got.
wives, man? I'm looking at the mouths you gotta feed. I'm looking at the
Now that's a realist.
I'm
That is a
looking at
realist right
I'm
there.
looking at like wives. Are we talking about how many children you have with these wives or
Oh my
the
God! Yeah, I can barely stand one at a time. I got
Oh,
three.
No, like,
three? Shit.
this is from the
Not just
man who
children.
tucks his kids in and is a adoring father. He's like, no, no more.
I paid my dues.
now let me tell you this, Coach Love. I'm married 32 years, but my oldest is only 19. My wife made me promise the day we got married, no children. And I said to my mom, what should I do? She said, wait it out. Here we
Wow.
go. We
What?
were
That's pretty good. I never even thought about that, but yeah, you had to wait it out.
12 years in, she said, I changed my mind. And since then, she has to pay for it. No, I would not. Wow, listen. No, but she tapped out after two because I actually.
Dude, I'm just going to tell you right now, Aim, you are my new spirit animal. Like,
I give you my PayPal. No, I'm kidding.
you're like the
But that's
dragon
how
from
they do
Mulan.
it.
You're like the
No,
dragon from Mulan, just constantly talking mad shit, and I
no,
fucking
but
love it. I love
listen,
it.
I look at my sons, they're better men today than I ever was. And I love it.
Aw.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
that's interesting because my children made me a better person, and my wife made me even better. Like, if you look at the progression from today and you go backwards in time, you would literally watch me becoming more of a shitty person.
amen. That's
Because
what you
I
do.
remember what I did when I was like 18, 19, and 20. I was robbing people. I was stealing cars. I was doing
No.
heroin. I was doing meth. I held one person up by gunpoint at one point in time.
Dang.
Hey,
Um,
he had a reason. Coach Love, don't be so
yeah,
judgmental.
I took a
But
guy's
no,
weed out.
you know what? With the gunpoint,
Man,
it's
it
right. It's
must
like,
have had a reason
dang.
for it. Jesus. We weren't
Yeah,
there.
Well,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah.
judge.
he wanted the heroin. That's what he.
No, but listen to this. I always thought my dad was way too strict with me. Now I have children. I know he wasn't strict enough. I got several beatings. Now, in 2007, another blessing.
I'm going to argue that, but I'm going to let you finish.
Yes. In 2007, my wife took over her father's business and
Uh-huh.
she said, we need look someone after our children. I said, I stay home. I'm a stay home dad since 2007.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
Huge blessing. And you know what? I would beat my children if they needed it. I never have done it once. Not
Yeah.
once. However,
I love
I
that
would
sentence.
I would
I
say
would beat my children
if
if they needed it.
I had a son that I would beat him to death. I know that now, and I had a really, really bad time with my dad since I was 16 till about 2, 3 years ago. I reconnected, and that was actually the point where I said, you know what, he did the best he could. I was just not a very, very nice son to have. I have to. I know that
Yeah.
now, looking at my sons. I have to say. Now you tell me what about the beating.
Okay. So, how did you put it? You said that your father.
I thought my father was too strict. Now I know
Right.
he was
That's what it is.
strict
Okay.
enough. Yeah.
So let me pose this question: was he not strict enough, or was he not emotionally connective enough?
Mm.
Because there's two bits to this, and I've learned this recently that I do better when I like. There's certain situations, like obviously there's situations where you need to lay some heavy love on a kid, right? You need to put the fear of God into someone. There's no better terminology that I can
Yeah,
come
yeah.
up with. So,
I know what you mean. Yes.
right,
Yes.
but most of the time, when you look at what a child is doing, it's because of something that you're not. Right. So if my son is acting out, getting in a lot of trouble, it's because I'm not spending enough time with him. Right. There's also the aspect of an emotional connection that I never had with my father. And God bless my father. I love him to death. He was a great father in many, many ways. But one place where he lacked, and he will freely admit this. He had the emotional quotient of a cucumber. Like it just was not there. Like we just could not connect emotionally together. And
He
so
was a Mormon, though. You know, was a
no, my
lot
father
of.
wasn't. My father wasn't.
Okay.
He
Okay.
was a convert later on. But
Okay.
but my father grew up in a very, very disciplinarian house. He had two other brothers. Like they ran my grandmother and my grandfather ragged. But something that I realized when I was growing up is I was like, I don't ever want to be like my father. And then I turned out to be my father. And then I had to learn how not to be my father.
Oh
And
wow.
the reason why I say that is because I had to learn how to emotionally connect with my sons and my daughter. And so I didn't learn from my daughter. I didn't learn. I kind of learned from my second child, and then I was starting to do the same thing, the same mistake I made before with my third. And so I started to go to therapy, and I started to read, and I started to look at things in a different way. And it has changed the way that me and my son have a relationship. It's blossoming into something new and better. But I also find that when I'm connecting with him, I'm giving him something that my father never gave me, which was a man to look up to emotionally, right? We look up to our fathers as strong tanks. They can do anything in the world. You see how smart your dad is. He's doing all this shit. He's master of the world, right? But the thing that we never connect with our fathers is like my father is the kind of man that could cry in front of a crowd and then go beat the shit out of somebody 5 minutes later if he had to lay the smack down on someone, right? So there was never a blend of brutality and softness, right? And I think that's something that men miss when they're trying to live in this hyper expectation world of like you're either like super manly and super masculine, or you're just on the completely opposite side of the spectrum, right? Which you're okay for doing that too, fellas. But the point is
Okay.
that there has to be a very particular balance between that masculinity and that sensitivity that many boys are missing out on. Like you have to be able to connect this with that child, right? Otherwise, they're going
Okay.
to grow up with no concept of emotional connection with their partner,
Okay.
right?
Hey, let me jump in. Mind if I jump in?
Yeah, yeah. I made
Mind?
my
Okay.
point.
Let me know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Piggybacking on what you're saying. Yeah. Piggybacking on what you're saying, right? Um, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. But I probably won't call it sensitivity. I call it more gentility because it take because I tie it to an education, and that education and that education is basically classical education. And that classical education is basically most preserved in most societies by religion. You know what I'm trying to say? Religion in many ways like a classical education. I mean, in that it's something that's passed on over time and has a sense of timelessness to it, right? So we make these timeless traditions in order to teach us some things, but these things are also what teach us to connect to each other more than anything because it gentles away our aggression to be able to deal with some people and without even needing to be sensitive. I mean, religion, it gives us the education that allows us to be natural human beings. You know, now, it might not necessarily have to be religion. It could be like philosophy, whatever, like that. But people, but I think religion is natural to people for that very reason that you're describing is one of the main reasons why religion comes naturally to human beings to form some type of religion because religion solves that problem of passing on critical information or teachings about emotional intelligence down to down to other generations. Even if even if it takes the form in legendary mystical stories, it still has that component of always being about connecting through people by all of us connecting to our own source, especially in the monotheistic sense. Of course, that's the tradition I come from. I come from an Abrahamic standpoint where the creator is God, but whatever it is, uh, uh, um, we need something to connect us to the highest notion in order to make all other relevant connections in our lives, even connections to our children, family, spouses, and relationships. Thank you.
So I love that, and you've got a lot of great fine points, and especially with the transmission of knowledge through generations. Um, but there's one argument that I can use here, and if religion was so good at doing that, and we were creating emotionally stable young men and boys, we would not be killing ourselves at 4 times the national rate. We wouldn't be killing ourselves at 4 times the national rate everywhere. Every country has almost the identical suicide rate that we have here in the States. Australia, Germany, Russia, India, most countries have the exact same suicide rate with men. And so there's something missing. And you're not
Yeah, no,
wrong. You're not wrong, Pelu. You're not wrong. What I'm
But
saying is there's
Steve,
something missing. There's
yes,
something else
no, I
missing.
you
mean,
know,
yeah, no, I mean, something missing. Oh, okay. I'm gonna say real quick, and I'm gonna give it right to you. I'm gonna be real quick. Something missing is that not all religion is good, or not all. It's almost like we have to have
Mhm.
it. Okay, it's not okay. We preserve this. No, we preserve our knowledge and religion, but it's about the knowledge being preserved. First of all, it's about the knowledge being preserved first and foremost, and secondly, just because you preserve our knowledge does not mean you're not dealing with the traumas of the human condition. You're still dealing with the hard traumas of the human condition the whole time. But religion helps us cope with it. We're talking about it could be suicide and this, that, and the third, or whatever you're saying. But how you know it couldn't be way worse? They could be living in total hell. Like how you know it couldn't be way worse? You know what I'm saying? Religion teaches us to count our blessings. It teaches us to count what was good about ourselves and count what's good. Like
Okay.
I mean, it gives a different perspective. Anyway, Ing, I'm sorry. Go, I'm sorry.
I get that, but what I'm trying to argue for, the thing that's missing, religion can't solve, right? This needs to be something that if you are religious, this needs to be a component with religion,
but Steve, could
which
it
is the way
be?
that you have to connect with someone. Sans religion, you have to be able to connect human being to human being. There has to be some kind of a connection there that is sans anything else. It has to be you and that person. That because you're connecting human to human. If you've got
Yes,
But
but
that's
if
not
you've
the
got
Steve,
another
ultimate
man in the
connection, though.
middle of
That's
it,
not
you're
the
not
ultimate
connecting human to
connection.
human.
Steve,
Yeah,
let me ask you this: could it
yeah.
be that we fail to apply the religion right? That we fail in doing so? And I give an example. And sorry, Pelo, I say this: the Quran is more peaceful than the Bible. You know why? In the Quran, Allah forgives Adam. In the Bible, he does not. Pelu, answer me this. Why do Shia Muslim fight Sunni?
That's a good question because they're both heretics. That's the reason. They're both heretics.
They
Um,
don't
um,
apply the religion and what they learn. They don't.
they don't because
And that's why
they don't have
that's
the real
why we
freedom of
have
thought. No,
atheists. That's why we have atheists, because when you look at world's history, every war and warfare was based on religion, including Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Because yeah, about the Shia and the what's name, they're both heretics. I mean, body on
They,
Lorako Istakama. So
they
I'm
base
not Sunni or Shia,
everything
but
on the Quran. How do they fail? The most peaceful religious book in the world. It's the Quran. I read it. I
because
didn't read it in
because they
Arabic.
don't follow the creed of the
Sorry.
Quran. I hear you saying, but Shia, both Sunnis and Shia do not follow the creed of the Quran. Like, they have a creed that goes contrary to the Quran and contrary to even clear things that stated in the Quran. They have it in their basic akida. Akida means like your fundamental creeds that all your scholars bound
Yet,
yourself to. Their fundamental creed. Their fundamental creed is heretical. That's why you have the fruits of heresy, and the fruits of heresy is the ugliest form in this world. We know it's terrorism. Those are the fruits of heresy, and that's why I made it my life mission to expunge all the heresy that attributes itself to Islam in the world,
so
and the human understanding is know it as such.
Pelu, do you agree when I tell you you could not move in a Muslim country today and live?
I would go to Oman. Oman.
No, you can do it in America and in other countries. We have mosques in Germany. You know where they kill each other the most? The Muslims are in Muslims' country. Why?
Yeah, I know, because they're heresy. That's what I say. The one notable example I can tell you right in the Middle East that is free of all that craziness you're talking about is Oman. And the only reason Oman is different because Oman is not neither Shia or Sunni. They are Allah wal Istiqama. They Istiqama Muslims. They're a whole different branch that
So
actually
there's a
believes in
third.
the Qid of the Quran.
You
Yeah,
have
the
to be
third. Yeah,
part
yeah.
of the third Muslim movement to be right.
The third most populous, yes. Unfortunately, we're not the majority, but the majority unfortunately, the majority of people attribute themselves to Islam are following scholars that are perpetuating heresies, and these heresies have the counterproduction of terrorism, unfortunately. And if you take it to its logical end, if you take these heresies logical end, you basically get terrorist organization where you take the
Pelo,
heresies to the logical end.
I'm not attacking you. I think you're a fine person. And don't get me started on the Christians or the Jews.
No, no, no. I know you're attacking me. As a matter of fact, me as a YouTube personality and presence, most of the stuff I've done has been on comparative religion. I'm used to this type of talk. That's my mainstay. My mainstay. The thing that got me into this world was talking comparative religion, and that's what I still do. Because me and Jen, that's me and Jen's platform. Me and my team partner, we do comparative. But even before I was talking to Jen, even before me and Jen became streaming partners and doing a lot of work together, that's how I came into the YouTube world. So these type of questions, I'm never going to see coming at me because I've seen people really come at me, and I become an expert at this. I'm like the king of comparative religion on YouTube now, and in our small circle. So it's just like this is what I do. So every question you have, it just helps me, and I understand it. I know everything. I've come to before
It's a
because I'm someone who
Pelu.
lives a theocentric life.
Excuse me, hold on one second. I have a
I put my
question.
religion in the center of
I
my
have a question. I
consciousness.
have a question. Unpopular. Unpopular.
Yes.
Yes. Would Ing make a good Muslim?
I
I
think
can
you would
hardly get
though.
it.
Pelu would know.
I
Unpopular
know.
is not a
I have
Muslim.
no.
I
I'm
think you would
asking.
though.
Oh, he has the best judgment. Of course, he's
Come on.
from South
I'm asking
America.
him.
Jesus Christ. Unpopular. Would I be a good Muslim? You know what? I would be.
Come
Good
on,
work, Muslim.
unpopular. We
No,
need your words.
Pelu, we only talk today, and I know you believe in Allah. Alaikum salam.
Okay, unpopular. What
Thank
is
you.
your
Hey, that's a great compliment he just gave you. You know, so
No,
tell a Muslim that that's a
and
great
it
compliment.
comes
Tell a
from my
Muslim
heart.
that I
Comes
just
from
met
my
you
heart.
and I know you believe in Allah. He's trying to say that you're a believer and the believers are the people of paradise. So he's trying to say that I'm heaven bound. That's a great compliment to give a Muslim. Telling he's heaven bound.
I mean, I think that's beautiful. I still don't know what unpopular says What say you, Unpopular?
This will be his fourth time that he tries to talk to us, please.
Man,
Yes.
well, from hearing what everybody was just talking about, it just made me realize that, especially with getting to know Pelu, like, when it comes to people subscribing to these, said religions, Islam, Christianity, and whatnot. It just makes me feel like you need people. Well, the congregations need people that's more well versed
Yeah.
in education of the religion. So I feel like, nowadays, more like, especially nowadays, people really can't just say that they're Christian or just say that they're Muslim without having like that background of being 100%, fully devoted to what they're into. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like when you look at a true Muslim, they really live up under that code, whether it may be very, challenging for them to live that way. You know what I'm saying? Because, to follow a religion would be to subscribe to all the rules that apply to that said religion. That's why I say I'm up here calling myself a Christian, but I'm not that Christian, for crying out loud. I'm not gonna lie to
Hey,
you.
but the X factor you always gotta remember. Hey, the X factor you always gotta remember. I'm gonna say the X factor you always gotta remember though. In religion, especially Islam, what I've learned, the X factor you always gotta remember is mercy. Is God's mercy. You can never despair in God's mercy. That's always the X factor. If you lose that X factor, you lose the whole religion.
Mm. So I have a question. What do you think the difference between mercy and grace is?
Um, I think grace comes from mercy. I think mercy is deeper than grace, but I think grace is a mercy from God, and this God is existence itself is a mercy to us, the creation, because without Him we don't exist. So He's a necessary being, and we're the unnecessary being because we're created from Him, and He's uncreated.
Did you see Steve's eyes? He was like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh! I know."
No, you didn't see my eyes. You only look
Okay.
at
I mean,
Steve.
So no, you
I
know
mean, me, that's
what?
how I express myself. I express myself in a theocentric fashion. I'm very much theocentric, you know, because and the reason I'm a theocentric, but the reason for it, right? The reason I'm a theocentric, like, see that's the my grace to being a theocentric that he gave me. He gifted me friendship with him, right? But why did he give me some friendship from with? Why did he give me friendship with him? Because of his mercy. So mercy is the mercy is deeper. So because all he is the will to bestow. Like we're the will to receive, but he's the will to bestow. Because all he could do is give because he doesn't need anything, and all we can do is take because we don't have anything that to begin with. Without him, our creator, to give us our creation, our preservation, and every bounty we enjoy.
No,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
not too. I would say grace is undeserved and mercy is given.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Grace, undeserved mercy is given. That is beautiful.
No,
That's great.
I mean
And
it. I mean
he
it.
nailed it. He nailed it. He just nailed it. He nailed it.
No, let Steve talk.
Oh, oh. What? I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Ing is adorable.
Do it. Do it.
Steve, your mic is muted.
Yes, because didn't want to say
Sorry, I
anything.
didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Ing
Um,
will come down from Canada and get you,
yeah.
or come
You
up. Yeah,
come. You come up to
yeah,
Canada and
yeah,
show
yeah.
you Vancouver.
I can't bring my guns up to Canada, bro.
That's,
There's enough here.
Yo, you the gun to Canada. It's God.
why
It's
do they
God gonna be
stand
with
on
you.
guns? What do they? What's their deal with guns? What do they stand on guns?
In Canada?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can people have guns in Canada?
yes. You need a license. I have it. Even for restricted weapons, but it takes a while.
How's your
But
gun violence up there? How's your gun violence?
we don't have it. We have
Yeah.
fist fights usually between
How
a
come you guys
woman
are not
and her
murdering one
husband.
another with guns?
Say again.
How come? What do you not have road rage, or you? What? Why aren't you guys murdering one another? Guns. What's the deal?
Well, when you're 500 miles away from your next neighbor, it's hard to get pissed off at them.
Listen,
And
oh,
because
Jesus.
they have a lot of space up there. They have a lot of
Mountain
space up there.
trees and snow.
When I look out the window, I only see America. I'm right across the Georgia Strait. It's all
So,
water.
Palua, you trying to tell me it's too cold for them to kill each other?
No,
No, you know, I
no,
mean,
no. It's
it's
just
not. No,
we
no,
are.
it is, and it's yeah, it is. It's too cold to kill each other. It's too cold. It's too cold because look, see, they have to
Well,
be on cold
no.
over there because they'll freeze to death if they're not on cold.
Well, no,
They all got to be on cold with each other. So they have a cold air.
You have a cold sore on
We
your
can really
lip
be over
because
here
your
in
last night was
Canada.
too
Let's take it
cold.
easy.
I'm fine.
No,
I
no,
heat my
no.
house
I
so
don't
much that my
know.
backyard has
I know
no
that. I know
snow at
that.
all.
it's worse than that,
Because
though. It's worse
it's
than that because
already
you
in
want to
place
get
though. The
it's
foundation is
worse than
already
that.
in place, right? The
Do
foundation
I?
was, it's cold as a fuck up here, right? We need to
Do
make this Canada the place that we gonna come and we gonna chill the fuck
do
out.
I
All of us, if you
really?
coming, no matter what you come from, we gonna come
Pillow.
in, chill the fuck out, and we gonna make
I
this
like it
place
to
something.
love.
Because if we don't, we'll freeze to fucking death in the damn cold. Yeah.
Salama cheap. Listen to me. Do I really have to say it again? Vancouver Island to the west has the last rainforest of the cold area in the whole world. It's as big as England, not Britain, as big as England. And it has 90% of the year rain, no snow. To the east, we have the Rockies. I live in a weather paradox in White Rock, BC, right at the border. We don't have snow.
Nice.
No, that's
That,
good. That's good.
that's why I live
No,
here.
no, no. I know you
I
have.
had the
No, I know
luxury
you
to
have.
pick where I live. And it's not next to you, Pelu, but you know what? I invite you up here, I buy you a house.
Okay then. Okay then. Yeah. No, 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 no.
Coming.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm not coming in if you give me this house. But anyway,
It's an amazing
in the
place.
meantime,
Amazing place.
no,
Let me tell
no,
you something,
I know.
Pelu, Pelu, Pelu. Let me tell you something. The waters of British Columbia in between Vancouver Island and the mainland is so rich in nutrition. We have more different species of starfish and frogs on the island than in the Amazon and in anywhere in the world. The richest waters.
You know
We
what
have.
Canadians don't kill each other?
Yes. Why are
They're
they
too
not?
happy. We are
No, they spend all
Americans,
their
but
damn
happy.
time
Yeah.
apologizing for it. Sorry about that, eh? Sorry about that, eh?
Eh?
Oh, sorry about that,
No,
eh?
but that's good though. See, that's courtesy though. No,
There's
that's
something to
courtesy
it. There's
though.
something
No,
to.
no,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
courtesy. No, and no, that no, that's no. That's
Gotta
what
be
I'm trying.
polite.
That's what I'm trying to say. It started right. Look. See, first
A
of all,
bully
Canada. Why
costs
Canada
five
goes from
bucks.
east
A
to
bully.
west?
I'd shoot.
Wait. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Canada goes from east to west. Wait. Listen, I have a logic to what I'm saying. A logic to what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna talk sense right now. I'm about to talk sense. Canada went from east to west, like America, right? We went from
Yeah.
east to west, right? So
Yeah.
before they got to this beautiful British Columbia and that nice part, right? They went to all them cold ass parts of Canada, right? They went to them Albertas, they went to them Saskatchewan, they went to them all the way up to the north. You know what I'm saying? They went to the Rupert, say Rupert's now. What's it called? What nation days? And then it became Northwest Territories or whatever it is. Now it's Nunavut, whatever the thing is, right? They went to all these cold places. You're talking about one part of Canada, right? But as a whole, Canada is cold as a mug, right? So as a culture, as a national culture, they say, you know what? It's tough up here. We're gonna be just real courteous with each other just so we can make it up here and make some out of our lives over here because it's so damn cold. If we don't, we're just gonna be some cold guys up in this cold Canada. So it
Is
made a culture of
abs.
courtesy, which is good. I think it's
Yeah.
good that you have a culture of courtesy. America needs a lot of Canadian culture, not all of it, because I think Canada is too messed up in certain areas, especially with the gender issues.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
it's too much. I think
He is right
in
about that.
certain in
So
certain
is
Canadians.
ways,
this
I
the
think it's too much.
hashtag? So this
Yeah.
is the hashtag. Canada, too cold to kill.
No, he is right though. The only Canadians that matter in White Rock, Surrey, and Vancouver. The rest can freeze to death.
Oh my god.
Clip it.
No, it's cold. I mean, that's one part of Canada. Yes, you have one part with
Most
a
of them
special
don't
climate,
have
right?
cars
But
to
then
attack me.
the rest of it is cold as a mug.
I have a self-shooting fence.
Oh my God.
Do
That's
you
all I
want me to
have.
answer your question now?
Yes, please.
Yes, yes. No, you know what? Unpopular, what do you have to say?
Man.
That will be the fifth attempt to make his point.
Oh man, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead. Take the floor.
Look at him. That's gracious. That's grace. That's
Yeah,
no
yeah,
mercy. That's
yeah.
grace.
Unpopular is over here like dodging all the questions, like
No.
it's like swat them away. Get away from me.
Okay, yes.
No.
Steve. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead, Steve. I
Okay,
think
so
it's
it's hard to follow up Ing's definition of that, but if I can, I'm going to try my best. Mercy and grace are both transitory statements. So when I say that, to have or to give mercy requires you to have gone through something that you have earned to give that, and the same goes with grace. So both of those they transition between the reality that in order to give grace, you have to be aware of you and yourself and your own humanity, right? So you have to be aware of the fact that you are not as good a person as you might think. And the same goes for the person that you're giving grace to, right?
Mm.
Mercy at the same time is coming to terms with the things that you've done, knowing, not assuming, but knowing that you're not as good as a person as you thought you were, and giving that to the person. So one is so one um, grace is the practice of assuming that you're not as good as person as you think. Mercy is knowing that you're not as good a person as you think. And both of those require you to have some kind of a lived experience of both of those states of being, which is why they're both transitory, right? You have to go from one to the next. You can't skip backwards. So you can't give mercy without grace.
Mm.
Okay, see, okay. I mean, I understand what you're saying, though. I mean, I don't agree with it because I think it's. I mean, because I think of the ultimate mercy and ultimate grace coming from the
That's
Creator. That's not
okay.
transitory,
I'll give you that
right?
grace.
But I understand what you're saying. I mean, but I tell you, but we'll have to agree to disagree because I'm looking at it from its root, and the root of mercy and grace is the Creator in a theocentric worldview. But I mean, but I totally understand the sentiment behind what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, I would attribute it to where it needs to be attributed ultimately,
Right.
and that attribution where it needs to be attributed ultimately is eternal in my estimation, and that's the Creator.
Yeah. Well, the problem
Okay.
is for an atheist, it's really difficult because most of the words that the religious use, I can't use in the same form, right? So my definitions come from an atheist perspective through an atheist lens, and so I translate them into to physical known world descriptors, right? So when I say they're transitory, I can be aware of the fact that. Um, to give someone grace means that I know that I'm not the baddest motherfucker on the planet, right? And to let them speak so I can humble myself and listen to what they have to say and show kindness that I would want in return, right? And then mercy
That
is the process of being able to understand that I have gone through those things. I've been forgiven for things that I have done by other people, and so I want to give that to the person that I'm giving mercy
and
to.
it your first answer I can live with because you didn't use atheism. Here's the thing: if you all came about by chance and only the fittest survives, mercy is part of life. Grace can only come from God. And
Okay.
even English makes a
Wait,
difference in it.
unpopular
Okay.
was speaking.
All right. All right. I
Steve,
found
not hitting on you.
after
I'm
thinking
not.
on it, I have a very short answer, but I think I came up with grace is how you deal with fear in the face of adversity. And mercy is adversity acknowledging your grace.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
birthday acknowledging your grace.
He will
so
be giving a
Wow.
lecture on
Hey,
that
Unpopular,
hey,
Tuesday.
hey,
unpopular.
birthday acknowledging your grace. Look, you gotta
No, 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 no,
the
no, no, no.
Satan itself
Can I ask a
knows that God has
question?
favored you, that you're blessed and highly favored. Oh yeah, I get you,
No, no, no.
unpopular. Hey, I get you. I feel you on that one.
Not true. Unpopular. What are you smoking? Explain this to me. No, see,
I get it though.
explain.
I get it.
I'm
Did
fine with
you
that
get
I
it?
get it.
explanation. I think
I
it's
didn't.
great.
Say it again.
I
Unpopular.
loved it.
Say it again.
I loved it.
okay,
You're
in
the
the
atheist,
okay,
dear Steve.
it's like this. It's like this. In the world that we live in, right? Let's say you walk into the face of a lion, right? You walk into the jaws of a lion. But let's say if that lion in an alternate situation could see you
Yeah.
as the prey that you are, but decides to say, I'm not going to kill you because you are human, then that is ultimate mercy. That is grace, ultimately.
Mm.
So if we take that same concept as human beings, and let's say, yeah, we differ from each other, we have different opinions and come from different walks of life, but it's up to us in the face of adversity to say, hold on, wait, and I'm talking about in reality, face to face, to say, you know what? I may not like you. I may want to kill you. I may want to beat your ass up after everything I know about you, but I'm going to accept you. I'm going to become friends with you. I'm going to form a relationship with you, and I'm going to see if we can make this thing work, even if it can't. But it takes both sides to accept grace and mercy.
I
Hmm.
totally agree. Yep, I get that.
Well,
It's
you
a lot
brought
of man on him.
unpopular
The most
here,
merciful, the
Delu.
most gracious.
No, no.
I'm not here for a reason. I know you about to testify. You about to go off today. I know. He's ready. Papa's gonna go off today. He's gonna be informed. I know he's gonna be informed when he came. So I said, hey, just come through. This is for you.
Man, I'm popular. This is what I want to know. Do you have a beard?
Yes, well, not like it's not a Steve.
No, a beard is a beard. A
And I couldn't
beard.
handle the challenge.
He
I couldn't
won
handle the challenge.
already. He won already.
No, he did not win already.
Yeah.
You know, he
He
did
did.
not.
You told me he already won. You told me. Said,
I did
don't
not say that.
cry
You
on
said that.
panel.
I
I
did
made
not
that up.
say
I
this.
lied. Okay, I
He's
made
right.
that
I
up.
did not. No, no. But we still are accepting entries. It's beautiful.
No,
It is.
you would laugh if I sent my picture in now and said
No, I want
to
your
beat
picture in.
Steve. No, that's it.
I need your positive masculinity. I need your picture. Send it
No,
to me.
it really is not like a beard. It's just like it's like I
Oh,
retract that statement. It's not like a
what
beard because
happened? Unpopular. What happened?
Wait, it went away. He was like, my beard, it
Hey,
went away.
cam up on popular. Cam up. Hey, cam up on popular.
Yes, came
Let's
up.
see it. Let's see it.
Cam up on popular, man. Be a man
Let
today.
me
Well,
Get
I
be
cam
the
gotta,
up.
I
judge
gotta
of
keep
it.
this shit on
I
full screen.
already
There we go.
lost to
Yeah, ready.
Steve.
I've
Let
been
me
trying.
be
I've
the
been messing
judge
with you
of
though.
it.
But just cam up. You the man. You the man
Give
today.
me
Popular. Cam up. Cam up.
unpopular. Give me your PayPal. I buy you a camera.
Oh, wait a
No.
minute. Nigga's making it rain tonight. He bought Paylou a house. He's buying Unpopular on camera.
Yeah, he has to
Making
move
it
up here
rain.
though. Yeah.
He is making it rain
Yeah.
tonight. But you have to show us your beard.
Amen.
I don't really have one. It's
Or
like
lack thereof. Let's see.
You see it. See your
and then
chin.
Let's
and then
work on
You
it.
see your chin. You
Maybe you
know.
win
I
next
just got
year.
my hair cut
I,
about a week ago and I had to shave, so
you know
Un,
what
yeah.
but
though?
no,
Okay, let's see it. Let's
unborn.
see chin.
Unborn
I,
called his a struggle beard, but it counts.
Yeah, I
you know
have a
what
Yeah.
though?
struggle beard. That's exactly what
I
I
know
have,
why
a
he's
struggle
not.
beard.
I know why he's not going to show his face.
Why?
He's going to make the rest of us men look like shit.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
He's probably like what's his name?
Sons of Americans.
Shamar Moore. He probably looks like Shamar Moore.
Okay, yeah, man.
Dude, like that sturdy, like rock solid, like I'm a bisexual guy, and I would love to have a piece of Shamar Moore.
Oh,
No. He has a contract with.
Oh,
No.
hey, you might have messed it up, Steve. Hey, you might have messed it up, Steve. Don't say that.
Oh,
it's making him
Unpopular.
sweat. Where is your
I'll even
wife?
let him call me baby
No,
girl.
no, no. Unpopular
I'll
has
even
a
let him call
has
me
a
baby girl.
Unpopular has a contract with Playgirl, and he can't show his face. They would sue him.
Oh, okay. There you go.
What?
I think that's what
What?
happened.
You're
Hey, y'all calm down. Everybody now calm down.
Keep
Let's
him
have a camera
muted.
moment. Let's have a
I'm
camera
actually
moment.
trying to see you.
Hold up.
Hey, look at
Hold
him.
up. Shit.
We got you,
Do it.
popular man.
Do it.
Make your
Do
debut.
it.
Let's just get to know you a little bit, man. We've been knowing you
He's
for
gonna
so
go in a
long.
closet,
Make your
shut the
debut.
light off, and then turn on the camera. What do you want to bet? It's gonna be dark.
Oh yeah. No, we want to see your
Put us
face.
in our place. Come on, Unpopular. Do it.
Let us see what you're working with.
Oh Lord, I done got put on spot.
Yes.
You know, you've been dodging all night. You've been dodging like
Right?
everything all night.
Amen. Amen.
It's like
You know,
a
we gotta
dodgeball
think
king
of a
over here.
nickname for you.
I'm sorry to ruin everybody's happy excitement, but I'm gonna stay anonymous.
Look at
Tonight,
that.
hey, there will be other nights. We're gonna
You know
work
what?
on.
I'm gonna nickname
Oh
him King
man, I'm
Dodge.
popular, man.
King
What you
No.
Dodge.
mean? We got so we talk to each other every day. We know we gotta know you a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know
okay, I'm
what
popular.
though?
Okay.
You got to respect the man's consent.
Right, but I'm still gonna nickname him King Dodge.
Ah,
Do that, do
Listen,
that, do that, do that. No, you gotta do that. Hey, we gotta do that. We gotta do this little, yeah, because
you're
we
lucky,
gotta do some
Unpopular.
encouragement to get out the show. We
No,
gotta do
he's
some
lucky.
encouragement to get out the show.
Coach
I
Love
dig
would
it.
have kicked you if you didn't like you.
So let's
No, I
be
totally dig
free, man.
it.
We gotta be free. You only live once. You only live once. YOLO. Let's be free.
There you go.
So
It
just
ain't
out of
gonna kill you. Let's be
curiosity,
free. Like we here.
Well,
just
I'm
We
gonna
human beings. We
imagine. I'm gonna imagine that he has a
talk about human
luscious full
experience.
beard, and that I
Just say
am.
your real name. You know what I'm saying? So just
I'm gonna imagine that he has a luscious full beard, or even if it's a struggle beard, that I am hanging out with the bearded mug men. You know, everybody here you guys are bearded mug men. You're Renaissance men. You're kind. You're courteous. You're smart. You know, all positive masculinity here. That's the point. That's what I'm talking
And
about.
next
yeah.
time on panel, you will have your sixth try to make your point.
There you go. There you go. And then
Coach
What were we
Love,
supposed to be talking about tonight,
I
anyways?
have to punch out. I'm sorry, I have
you
to
know
punch
what?
out.
Actually, you're right on time because we're rounded it out. The only thing I'm going to say is that masculine mugs, masculine mugs is for the guys who do not have a beard. So throw your picture up, masculine mugs as well. So you are included. And you want to know something? It's going to go on a while. Stay tuned. Something really cool is happening. I'm
Steve,
loving it.
hey, Coach Love,
nice to meet you.
keep the stream up. Don't put the stream down because this kind of stream that people come back and watch, and if you want to build your following, keep your stream up.
I'll think
I
about
mean,
it.
if you want to build,
Nice to meet you,
yeah,
Steve.
everybody will
Unpopular.
like check it
Adios.
out
Pelu. Salam
and
alaikum. Salam alaikum.
walaikum salam, yep. And
All
Love you
right.
guys.
yeah,
Thanks for having
yeah,
me,
because
Coach Love. Love you.
My pleasure. Bye bye for now.
See you later.
yeah,
We'll catch you
bye
around.
bye, man. Nice talking to you.